Okay, so good morning. Here we are. If you just joined, I have yet another backdrop. We're visiting my dear in-laws in Florida. So I'm in the reading room, which is great. There's books everywhere. It's very academic. It's very great. So we're gonna infuse this with some woo-woo qigong. So let's we have some really fun ones today because there's a version of Qigong that is called the Animal Frolics, and it's which the name sort of gives it away. It's much more about mimicking certain animals in the wild and the energy that they are associated with. So we're going to infuse some of this with Animal Frolics, a few of the movements. But let's start with some breath work. So hands in the lower abdomen. And this is more just sort of like housekeeping. When the hands are on the lower abdomen, like the lower dantian, if you drew a triangle, like if you actually connected your navel, the belly button, to the same area, level on the back on the spine, that is a connection. That's a connection right there. So the door of life is actually that's what the door of life is. It's right if you were to draw a line from your belly button to your spine, that whole area. And the lower dantian, sort of that's the top of the lower dantian. That was like the ceiling. Then the lower dantian kind of funnels down inward a couple of inches below that. So that's your lower dantian. So even if you have your thumbs on your belly button and the hands resting just below, that's essentially your lower dantian. And that's where we have a lot of our focus is because there's a lot of power here. So let's just take a moment and slow the breath down, kind of focusing our attention on the lower dantian, this area right below or beneath your hands, underneath your hands. And then let's do some deep abdominal breathing. So inhaling, feeling the belly puff out, feeling your hands puff out, and then on the exhale, the belly gently pulls in towards the spine. Nice and slow, just allowing our attention to start to come into the present moment with a little more focus and clarity. Right, we start to focus our attention first so that we can carry out our intention with more clarity. And then let's crack the eyes open. So, we will start with a version of knocking on the door of life that's part of bear frolics. So we're going to stagger. Or if you can't see my entire body, we're going to step back with your left foot so that you still want your feet to be about hip distance apart, but your right leg is forward from the left. So you're in a sort of staggered stance. And we're going to go into knocking on the door of life, but there's going to be a weight shift. So we'll just start with the arms. Let's start with the arms being nice and loose, and then starting to turn from the hips and the waist. Right. And then start to slowly feel a little weight shift back and forth. So shift the weight forward and back with this rotation just helps to bring even more energy into the center. Bear Frolics, the whole sequence is really about bringing energy to the middle. So it's really great for digestion, helping to facilitate the transformation of food. And then as we're doing this, a reminder to breathe. And if you want, you can even let your head very gently look over your shoulder. So you get a nice stretch all the way into the base of the skull. And now let's step forward with that back foot. And then let's step back so that your right leg should be back, left leg forward. Same thing, knocking on the door of life with a little weight shift from the front foot to the back foot. There's a whole school all about animal frolics. So we're just getting a little dabble, a little taste. But I really appreciate this style because there is an element of playfulness, right, with animals and mimicking animals. Probably something most of us haven't really done since we were a child. So it brings that element of youthfulness and playfulness to these exercises. And then let's step forward down with that back foot. Ah. So there's also a version of something that looks very similar to spinal cord breathing that's also part of Bear Frolics. The difference is, so we go into sort of how we do the spinal cord breathing with the rotation, but we want to first organize ourselves so that we start from the bottom. So as we turn to the left, you're going to come off the heels of the right foot. So you get a little bit more into the rotation. And then very gently, let your hands be nice and loose. Your hands are going to come up just below the chin. And you're going to look up very, very gently. And then you come back to the center and let everything sink down. So again, this time as we turn to the right, come off the heels of the left foot. The arms come up just below the chin. So the wrists are nice and loose and you look up gently. And then you come back down to the center. So it's a turn, come off the heel, look up, and then exhale. So the breathing is we turn as we start to inhale, and then unwind, exhale back to the center. And turn now to the left, inhale, and exhale. And to the right. So coming off that back heel or the opposite heel, if we didn't, it would be a little bit more restrictive, right? In being able to rotate. So it gives our hips a little more freedom to allow us to go into a deeper but gentle rotation. Inhaling. So we're opening up the spine, we're twisting and letting the stretch come all the way up into the space between the shoulder blades. You can imagine you're a bear waking up from hibernation. Hopefully not too soon in the winter season. And then turning to the left, excuse me. And then back to the center and to the right. Let's do one more to each side. And come back to the center. So from here, we'll also do we'll dabble. We actually do a little bit of the Animal Frolics for tiger. So we're all used to the tiger hands. So that with a tiger posture and flows, it's really about strengthening the tendons and ligaments, especially into the forearms and fingers, which is why we really encourage, making your hands like a tiger claw. So we're going to start with the palms facing down. The fingers are nice and spread apart. And then you're going to turn almost like you're opening up like a cans of a big jar. Your hands turn out, and as they do, curl your fingers in now so they're in tight little fists. And then inhale, you're going to bring your fists all the way up overhead. And as the hands come up, release the fingers, come back into the tiger claws. The palms are facing up. And then spiral the hands inward, closing the fist again, coming all the way down. So that's pretty much the entire thing. As we come all the way down, release the fingers, tiger claws facing down, spiral in, closing the fists, inhale as we come up, open up the hands into the tiger claws facing the sky, not the earth, and then spiral in, fists coming down, turning, opening that can, inhaling up, spiral the hands. So we're opening and closing the fists, right? And as we open up, there's a release of energy, but there's a lot of energy when you're making these tiger claws. There's a lot going on in the fingers, and then we're scooping up, condensing, inhaling, coming all the way up, open towards the sky, coming back in and down. And let's do it a few more times. So gathering, pulling up, release, gather, pull in as we exhale down. Inhaling, open up, and then gather and exhale back down. Open, inhale. And open, gather, and exhale, pulling down through the center, releasing. And then inhale. Open up, tiger claws. Let's do that one more time, actually. This time, let's pull all the way down, release into the tiger claws. And now we're going to continue working with the energy in the hands and fingers in our tiger claws and incorporating a gentle wave. So it's sort of a combination of when we do tiger, we're clearing out and letting it compost back to the earth. So we'll take our tiger claws, almost like you're pulling up, right? And as we do, there's a little wave in the spine. And as the tiger hands come out, you're going to wave down. So I'll turn sideways, right? So there's a slight undulation as we come up, and then relaxing the hands down as we wave forward. So the dredging comes up, and then down. So you see there's still that wave of the spine, and now we're just incorporating the tiger claws in with it. So dredging up, releasing down, dredging up, releasing down. And it could be even more of a subtle wave. We're getting movement through the spine, that fluidity, right? We're clearing out the junk so that we have more space for that flow, for movement to be less restrictive, for our spine to move with less creaking. And part of that is uncovering, discovering what we really need to kind of dredge up and let go of. Tension, emotional stress, maybe just even habitualized postures or sitting too much. Being on an airplane. I can't complain. It was only 2.5 hours. Easy peasy. Just a few more, really letting go. Think of a tiger, like in slow motion. If someone's filming a tiger, just think of that strength and power, right? But also that grace. There's something so elegant and magnificent about watching the strength and power of a tiger as it's running or sprinting. And then let's do one more inhale. And now hold your tiger claws above your head. To round this out, we're going to go into tiger that we normally do, where we come down and bend and go into a gentle squat. So now we're just going to exhale, bending the knees, and then nice and slow, getting into the nooks and crannies, right? Little dust balls that collect internally in the places that sometimes we don't have so much light shining on, right? So remembering that the earth has the magnificent ability to compost our gunk, our leftovers, right? So we're sending energetically what we want to put into our compost bin so the earth can transform it and we can pull in all of this good energy that helps us to feel good. If we want to transform lead, lead is like the feelings that keep us feeling heavy and weighted and exhausted. We want to transform that, compost that into feeling like gold, right? Shimmery and shiny, and a lightness. Let's do one more inhale. Exhale. And as we come up, cross the forearms. Nice inhale. And then exhale. Thank goodness for animals. we'd be rolling around here like not knowing what we're doing. They're magnificent teachers. Okay, so we're almost to flow, but I want to do a little bit of ignite the fire, even though it's pretty warm down here. It's still pretty cold up there. So we're going to go into a little igniting the fire. And we do that first by taking the palms together. So the fingers are extended. And we just start turning the palms so that there's It's pretty firm pressure. The point is that you want to generate heat in the palms of the hands. This is fantastic for circulation to the extremities, the hands, and also it brings the pericardium and heart channel goes right up the arms and into this whole area. So it's really good for the heart. You'll feel some warmth not only in your palms, but you'll start feeling warmth permeating throughout your body. So this is the action that we're going to be doing. See how my elbow comes up slightly too? So that's what we're going to be doing. Now we're going to incorporate the legs. So come out to a wider stance. So the knees are slightly bent. So I keep doing this so you can see my knees. And then we'll start with our palms at the center. Now, as we're going to shift the weight over to the right, and as we do, the right elbow is going to come up and you'll turn and look left. And then you come back to the center so the fingers face up, transfer the weight over to the left, and the left elbow comes out to the side, and you turn and look right. And then back to the center, right elbow, as we turn, look left, back to the center, shift weight to the left elbow comes up and turn and look right. So as we start to link these, right, when you come to the center, you can sink a little bit. And then when we come over to the side, come out of the bending of the knees slightly. So there's a little dip and extension. It's really great to strengthen the legs. We're generating heat in the palms. You're turning your head, so you're getting a little stretch to the shoulder and the neck. You can go a little bit faster. You might notice that there's even more heat being generated. So there's a reason why they call this igniting inner fire. Really great for the wintertime. And we'll take a break now. So come to the center. You can even come out of the bend for a moment. Let's just slow the breath down now. Heart to the sky. So inhale, look up, and then exhale, come back in. And again, inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale. So we'll do that one more time. You might feel your heart beating a little bit. That's okay. It's about going to where we just start feeling uncomfortable and then staying there. Not pain, but where we're feeling a little bit of discomfort, that is where we grow. So we kind of push our boundaries, our own boundaries just a little bit, see what happens. And your boundaries will become your ability to kind of move past that and experience things is going to blow wide open. So let's starting at the beginning, the center, and then shifting the weight over to the right, elbow out, look left, and then center, and then weight over to the left with elbow, back to the center. So at your own pace. If it feels better just to go a little slower, maybe less of a dip, that's totally fine. You want a little bit more of a challenge, you're feeling good, you're feeling loose, you want to generate some more heat, then maybe sink a little deeper, remembering to breathe. So inhaling in one direction, exhale in the opposite. And let's come to the center, taking a break. Let's connect back with the breath, slow the breath down. Inhaling heart to the sky, and then exhale back in. And again, inhale. And exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. All right, let's bring the feet back to inner hip distance apart or outer hip distance apart. And let's just shake everything out. Your hands might be on fire now, or even a little bit sweaty. So even in the wintertime, especially with people who have Raynaud's circulation issues, igniting the inner fire is a great way to help strengthen the heart, strengthen circulation, in particular to our hands. And start to slow down. So we'll do 3 flows today. One, we're going to slow everything down and really focus on just connecting to the earth energy again with pulling up the earth. And then we'll go into one sequence for our bear swimming. And then we'll go into, oh my goodness, embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. Brain fart. This is what happens when you get 6 hours of sleep. So one for the bear, and one for the tiger. But let's start with our arms in the semicircle. And then this looks very similar to Buddha holding up the earth, but the arms will come out to the side at the end. So we'll start here and then inhale very slowly. Palms face the sky, and then exhale all the way down out to the sides, back down to our semicircle. And then inhale, pulling up that nourishing energy, that composted energy from the earth, and then exhaling back down. So think about inhaling, maybe the weight shifts slightly towards your toes or the balls of your feet. And then as we exhale, thinking downward towards the heels. Pulling in, inhale. And a nice, slow, long exhale back down. Maybe even closing your eyes, really allowing yourself to be fully present. And as we're allowing our bodies to move, right? And energy, think about it, an energy or current is moving through you. Making this feel like almost an effortless flow. And a reminder that where our minds go, energy follows. Right? If we're focused on where we are, what we're doing, feeling how our bodies are moving, right? Energy is concentrated, it's here, it's consolidated and condensed rather than being scattered. Focusing on creating this internal energy that helps encourage you to feel however you want to feel, whether that's just feeling light, joyful, peaceful. One more inhale, and then let's exhale back all the way down to a chi ball for a moment, letting it pulse, be a little bit. Now going into our first animal flow. So bear swimming, which I think we've done before. Again, it's more concentrated in this area since this is the bear and the earth energy is all about the spleen, the stomach, the organs of digestion. So the movement comes from, like most, is really the movement of the hips. So we're going to glide the tailbone back. And as we do, the arms is going to reach out in front of you, like gliding out in front of you. And then think about starting to straighten. And as we do, the arms come around in a circle, back in. So the tailbone glides back and the arms reach out, reach forward. And then pulling the hips back in, the arms come around in a circle, back into the center. So arms reach out. Just think of a pool of water. Right, and we're just gliding forward and then very gently like pulling back, allowing ourselves to glide through the water. And the breath here would be exhaling as we extend out. And then inhale as we pull back in. Just letting the arms float out. And then gently, like the arms don't have to do much. You can continue. But if I didn't even move the arms, like look what happens. The arms almost sort of all automatically float forward and then pull back in. So it's just a real gentle accentuation of that out and then pulling back in. Nice and slow, moving on the breath, pulling into the digestive system, especially in the winter, things that they're a little cold. Maybe our internal fire is not as stoked as it is during other times of the year. So using practices like this to also, so we do the igniting the inner fire first, right? And then directing our internal heat to where we want it to go to. For this, we're directing it more into the fire of our digestive system. Exhale as we float out. And inhale as we pull back in. And that element of lightness, if you've seen any videos or pictures, bears play in the water. I think there's a video that a explorer took. I think it was a polar bear. And I mean, maybe he was doing something else, like trying to find fish, but it looked very much like he was just splashing around and enjoying himself in that freezing cold water. So that element of lightness, right? Having playful time, just like a polar bear rolling around in the Arctic, like having a blast, right? But there's a release of tension when we think about playfulness like that, right? And ease. And one more. Let's inhale back to the center, back to our chi ball for a moment. Maybe imagine that this chi ball is an amber glow, maybe a little more orangey or yellow. That's the color of the earth element, the spleen and stomach. And then we'll finish off with embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. So this is the one that actually starts on the exhale. So we're gonna just inhale as we're standing here, and then exhale, the arms come down, and then back of the hands come together. We roll the spine as we inhale, push forward as we exhale. Inhale, the arms reach up. The inhale lasts all the way down so that we start in the exhale. So exhale, spread the arms apart, back of the hands come together. We roll the spine up. Exhale, push forward. And then nice long inhale, all up and all the way down. And then again, exhale. And then inhale, spine rolls up. Exhale, push forward. And then inhale all the way down. So here, we're not making tiger claws because we want this to be more about flow and release of tension. So really the embracing the tiger is less about activating and cleansing and clearing. And it's more about embracing internally, right? That tiger energy that we all have, right? That fierce, confident, inspirational energy is there, but then we return back to the mountain, right? We return back to that inner space that's our root, that quiet internal reservoir or mountain, right? That's always there supporting us. So if tiger, that is that yang energy, think about the mountain, that internal mountain is the yin. So we want that really good outward, warming, confident energy. But then we want to come back to a space where we can rest and reprieve. Exhale, nice and slow, rolling the spine up as we inhale. Exhale, push forward. And then inhale, embracing that inner peace, that inner light. Exhale. Inhale, pulling up right from our deep reservoir and reserves when we need it to be able to be out and engage with the world and our life experiences, but from a mountainous foundation. And let's do one more. And let's inhale all the way back down, coming into our QiGong one last time. And then release the arms down. Let's inhale the arms down, around, and up. And exhale, float down. And inhale. And exhale. And one last time, inhale. And exhale. One hand on top of the other. Let's just pause here for the last 30 seconds or so. Maybe making some circles on your lower abdomen. Storing all that good juju, all that good energy, all that heat and fire. And when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Animal Frolics.
That was so good. Could you share the recording with the rest of us?
Yes, I will. I'll send it to the same list that I sent the link to this morning.
Right, because I should do that one once a week at least.
Yeah,
I have
we probably
terrible
should all.
circulation. My hands are always cold, and Embrace the Tiger, Return to the Mountain is my favorite. Just
Well,
just
there
the
you go.
name
You
of
got all.
the name of it is so wonderful.
It is. It's empowering. It's inspiring, right? It has a really. It's a good. It's very good imagery too. So I will share it with all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Well,
Erin.
thank you. Thanks, Carrie. Nice to see you. All right. Well, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next
Yeah,
week.
good weekend, everyone.
Bye.